Welcome to my Atlanta apartment. I have recently made some changes. Getting into season 2 of Dad's Diaries, I thought I want some new angles. I want some new shots. I want to have more space. And I had this theory that maybe moving the bed from there to here would be better. Now, I wasn't sure about putting this window up against the bed because I don't have a headboard. So maybe I'll get a new bed frame that has one. Maybe I'll figure something out. But that got me on this whole path of like redecorating my place. I've recently fallen in love with the TikTok shop. Now, originally, I totally mocked this thing. I didn't think there was any value to it. And it's these ads, like these people that pop up and they're just telling you how great stuff is. And I feel like none of them are being honest. So I figured I would show you what I've been buying on the TikTok shop. I'm trying to get stuff that makes life easier. It's a little bit more organized. Like, I just don't have a lot of space. There's a lot of inspiration that'll come to me from just being on the TikTok shop, but then I'll make the purchases elsewhere. So we'll talk about all of it. But first, let me go and brush my teeth. TikTok shop keeps trying to sell me a UV self-drying toothbrush holder, but the idea of charging it is just too overwhelming for me. So I found this one. A basic space-saving rack that's going to provide me some much-needed counter space. Just because you see something on the TikTok shop doesn't mean you have to buy it, but sometimes you just use it for inspiration. So, in a tiny apartment, most of the decisions I'm making are about this valuable real estate, this countertop space. And I have a lot of spices. I love to cook, but I was just getting to a point where I'd accumulated so many that they were taking up an entire section of the counter. They were spilling out of the drawers. Like, it was out of control. So one of the first purchases I made from the TikTok shop were these magnetic shelves. And I will say they are actually legit. They are exactly what I wanted. I only wish that my refrigerator wasn't like recessed into this little compartment, because then I could put them on the side. I bought a 6-pack of shelves. I can only fit 3. I mean, I could put 3 more, but they'd be all the way down at the bottom. But they also have the little notches in here, so I can actually put these on the wall if I'd like to, which I might do for one. I don't know what the price was. They're pretty cheap. And that's going to be the running theme here. It's like, I'm not going to buy stuff just because it exists. Like, it's got to be within a certain budget for it to make sense. It was worth it to get my counter space because that allowed me to put things up on top that I actually need, instead of just 14 oreganos, because I never remember I have any, and I did not get fresh plants this year. One thing about diving into TikTok is that it's new for me, so I started just using it for inspo. I'd find a product, then head over to Amazon, and if they have it, I'll just buy it there. Same product, same sellers, and sometimes faster shipping, but with a hassle-free return policy that I already know. If I can buy it on Amazon, I absolutely will. Since we're talking about counter space, let's talk about back here. Now, this is an area that's pretty disregarded, but I do notice that it retains quite a bit of clutter. When I put my sponges and stuff down, they just get kind of messy. And I'd like to make it nicer. Like, I'm constantly cleaning this. So, TikTok shop got me, and they sold me a kitchen caddy. Now, I will tell you, there is no shame in my game. I will absolutely return this stuff if it doesn't work out, because I'm kind of looking for the perfect things for my space. There's a lot of stuff that's cool, but it just doesn't work for you. Just cleans up. Yeah, it's kind of legit. It's definitely flimsy. I don't know if it's worth $11. It's probably worth like $6. But this is what happens. You get in the mode, you start spending money, and you're like, oh, just throw that extra thing in the cart, and you just keep going. You keep going. You look up, and you done spent $130. But hopefully, of that $130, you got some good stuff. And it's a 30-day return policy, so we'll see. I think I need to take a trip to IKEA or something, because I just realized that I purchased a dish drying rack, which just kind of seeing the material, I don't I don't even think I like it. I don't even know why I purchased this. Like I want a dish drying rack because there are times when I just want to wash dishes real quick and they're just taking up too much space on the counter. It just gets cluttered and messy and wet. But I don't okay, since I'm doing the video, I'll put it together. We'll see what it looks like, but the box is right there. This might go bad for sure. The problem is that there's screws, and that it's not even intimidating. I'm just not in the mood for it. Like, I don't want to put it together just to find out what it actually looks like on my counter. And they're little screws, too. I'm just going to take it back. In order to create more space in the bedroom, I moved a bunch of stuff into the closet. I've always wanted to add accent lights to the closet, but now that everything's in there, I finally have the excuse to do it. So far, this has been the best purchase. These motion sensor lights. Now, this is something I've wanted because I don't love the way the overhead light looks in here, but also it's because like when you wake up first thing in the morning, you don't want to just walk into like light. You know, you kind of want to ease into it. So everything else I have is on dimmer. But in the closet, I wanted to have this, and these were actually pretty affordable once again. So I think I paid $10 and they come in a 2-pack, so $5 each. I got 3 motion sensor lights. They're perfect for waking up, walking in here. They light up whatever space. They're surprisingly bright. 3 is kind of overkill. I only had 1 in here before, but I went back and bought some more. I wanted to move this little drawer set into the closet, and I can't really see in the dark. So having that additional accent light plus the overhead if I need it allows me to see a little bit better. These are a keeper. They're great for under cabinets. I use one of these to light myself. They're great for lighting your YouTube videos or if your kid wakes up. My shelves in the closet are actually magnetized, so I just magnetize one of those lights to the shelf, and now I'm using it to key myself. But use those. Put them by your bed so you don't kick the little post, because I do that all the time, and it's so annoying, and it's the worst pain. Maybe you want to put them underneath your kitchen cabinet. Maybe you want to line your store or your stairways or your walkways or whatever. Like, you have a lot of options. And like I said, $5 for a motion sensor light. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to cut your electricity bill down. I mean, I don't know how much you're moving in and out of your closets, but they are nice to have, and they are surprisingly bright. Somebody stole the copy of Inception I was gonna buy. It's very disappointing because it was a Blu-ray. But I'm trying to bring back physical media, man. Like, every time I watch a Blu-ray, I remember how incredible like movies can look because I'm always watching them streaming, and it's just not the same. You gotta get back to these Blu-rays and DVDs. I bought Dark Knight Rises on DVD. It's one of my favorite movies, but it's only the DVD. Your home should be a space where you can thrive, so most of these upgrades are all about activating dead space, like taking places that you don't normally think of and getting a little bit more out of them. It's feng shui, like making things functional, but also the bonus is they look good. It's not about how much money you spend, it's how much these things improve your daily life. Cheers. Just sitting out here on the balcony having a morning coffee, and yesterday I went out and I went to the Goodwill, and whenever I'm in there, I'm always looking for like just certain very specific things, like again, organizational tools, baskets, vases, just little things like that. But sometimes, I'll take inspiration that I get from, just scrolling on TikTok or Pinterest or whatever. And with the reorganization of my room, like now I don't have enough light on this side, so I was looking for some lanterns. I was looking for some lamp shades. In order to maximize the amount of surfaces I have, I'm trying to clear off all surfaces and just do hanging lamps. So I picked up a couple of lamp shades, and while I was in store, I actually ordered some 16-foot lamp cords. So we're gonna go ahead and wire up some lamps. These lamps are super easy to make. All you need is a lamp socket and some cord and a lampshade, and there you have a hanging lamp. So we're gonna go ahead and put those together. Also, I have some wooden shelves. Whenever I cut wood, I have like excess, and I'll just kind of keep them around. I ordered a bunch of shelf brackets, so I can't touch it because it's covered in stain right now, but I'm gonna put a second coat of stain on this after this dries, and then we're gonna put up another shelf. Having these little shelves will definitely help me to have more table space, which is really nice when I'm just down to limited space in a small apartment. This shelf is a pretty small upgrade, but it's gonna give me a little bit more space. I'm gonna be able to maybe put this in the bathroom to continue to clear up that bathroom counter. I get out, skateboard, thrift, and it just kind of gets my mind going, gives me more ideas, gets me inspired. And then I can come back and do some really fun stuff. I just love working with my hands. I love making my own, and I love being creative, no matter whether it's making a video, cooking, or doing a little DIY home project. Okay, so next purchase has arrived. Now, this is one that I'm very excited about. It seems very stupid, very silly, and I got it because I'm trying to once again make space, this time inside the refrigerator. This is an egg dispenser. So right now, the egg carton will typically sit inside the refrigerator, and it's wide, right? And that just takes up extra space. But the space from the front to the back of the refrigerator is often unused. So I picked this thing up so we could find out if we can make some more space in the fridge, because I'm doing a bunch of meal prep. I'm, getting lunches and stuff together. Could be a game changer. The main concern I have right now is that loading this thing is going to be a total mess because the eggs are going to just drop down and break, but let's see. For the sake of this video, let's find out what happens. Oh. Wait, okay, so that's one. Let's see what happens when you add a second. I mean, that came down pretty fast. Okay. Because we're trying to figure out how many eggs it's supposed to hold. Half as wide as an 18 carton of eggs. So that's why we picked this up. Once again, very affordable. It doesn't really tell me how many eggs it's supposed to hold. Now, I bought 2 and I don't even need the second one, but I was able to get 14 eggs in here, and it's gonna save me a little bit of space. So this is a good purchase. There's our lamp. We've got a matching lamp there, and let's talk about trust. TikTok Shop is weird because the ads for TikTok are like 30 seconds, 1 minute. Person's talking really fast. They're not really answering all the questions you really want to ask. A lot of times they don't even respond. So I bought a couple of things just to experience it, see what the process is like. The shipping was surprisingly fast. I wasn't expecting shipping to be, like Amazon speed in some cases, but others it was a little bit slower. Other than that, I haven't really dealt much with customer service or anything, but primarily most of the stuff I bought, I ended up buying it on Amazon because I found the prices to actually be similar, like nearly identical, sometimes even cheaper. And I just feel more comfortable purchasing through Amazon, which is kind of a crazy thing to even say because I don't like Amazon or multinational corporations, but I'm also in this weird place where, I'm a divorced dad rebuilding his life. So there are just so many small things I don't have that I've kind of been forced to buy things, but I definitely, under normal circumstances, would have no interest in buying a lot of this stuff. I got a small space. I want to keep it functional. I want to make things easy for my son and I. And these purchases, I do think, are actually going to help. Now, with all that said, I will say that the sellers on the TikTok shop do feel a little bit deceptive, a little bit dishonest. I get it. They're just doing their job. They're trying to sell products. But, I really do wish that some of the questions that you really have are more clearly answered. But I think if you use a little bit of discernment, you can kind of figure out what makes sense. The products that I got, I don't feel like are any less quality than what I would normally buy on Amazon. It's more just about how reliable is the source that's providing the information. And some of the sources, not so much. But yeah, there are absolutely others who will answer all your questions. They'll even make a video demonstrating things. I think it might be worth giving it a shot. If you have limited space like me, hanging lamps and clearing countertops off is going to be incredibly important. And I do think it's the key to maximizing your space. It used to give me a bit of anxiety every single morning having all this clutter on my bathroom sink while I'm brushing my teeth. It's just not a good start. It doesn't feel good. It feels claustrophobic, and I'm already dealing with limited space. So how can I free up as much of it as possible? Put up shelves, hang things, use other surfaces like windows or glass. Other than that, it's a lot of stacking. Stacking eggs seems like so silly and trivial, but when you don't have that huge French door refrigerator and you need more space, whereas when you have something like an egg dispenser, it's utilizing the space in the back, but it still brings the products to the front. Having it kind of makes me wish everything had some kind of dispenser, because that would just be so much more efficient. In fact, I bought a couple of other things that I didn't even open up, so I'll probably do a follow-up video on this at another point, but there are some other things that didn't make the cut. And if you want to see more content like this, give me a like. My name is Aaron. I make content on my life as a recently divorced single dad and creative entrepreneur. If you want to continue on this journey with me, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.